Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So this is the another lecture of our Java programming playlist, and in previous lectures we have completed up to variables in Java. So in this video we will be starting off with a very important concept in Java, that is data types. In today's video we'll learn about Java data types, what they are, how they work, and where we use them. And I will also explain each type with examples, and I'm gonna highlighting the important points you need to remember, especially for interviews and exams. Let us understand each point with examples, and I will also show them in Eclipse to make it practical. Let's quickly move on to what is data type in Java. So, a data type tells what kind of value or what kind of data we can store into a variable. It may be a number, character, boolean type, whatever it may be. It tells that what kind of value we are gonna storing into a variable. See, this is the example. Here, in this example, char is the data type belonging to character data type. Now, here I'm storing a single character, that is A, which is enclosed in single quotations. We call that as character. We can store number inside a single quotations, special character, whatever it may be, but the length of character should be only one. Now, see, this is the another example. Boolean is the another data type. Here it accepts only two values, that is false, either true or false. That's it. Now, see, observe, this is the flowchart. How many types of data types in Java? In Java, it is mainly divided into two categories. What that is? Primitive, another one is non-primitive. Under primitive we have two types: Boolean, numeric. Under Boolean we have Boolean data type. Under numeric we have character and integral data type. Under characters we have char data type. For integral also same, integer, floating points. Under floating we have float double data types. Under integers we have four types: byte, short, int, long. Remember this. Now moving to non-primitive, we have string, array, etc. These are the non-primitive data types. Now first let us understand primitive data types. We'll start with primitive data types. These are the basic types in Java. These primitive data types are there, no? These are the very basic types in Java. Those are, here we have 8 types. That is int, byte, short, long, char, float, double, next boolean. These are the 8 different types of primitive data types are available in Java. Now, in this video, we'll mainly talk about primitive data types because these are the building blocks of Java variables. Later, we will discuss about non-primitive data types. Now, let's quickly start with a small whole number data type, that is byte in Java. That is byte. What is byte? Byte is used to store very small numbers, and it takes only 1 byte of memory. It takes only 1 byte of memory. 1 byte means 8 bits. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. Remember this. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. Now, what is the allowed? What are the allowed values to store into a byte data type? Now, the range of byte data type, it stores only integer type, that is whole numbers we can able to store inside the byte data type. Now, what is the range of byte data type? -1 range. That is -128 to +127 is the range of byte data type. Here -128 is the minimum value, +120 is the maximum value we can able to store inside the byte type of data type. Beyond that, we'll get out of range, error we will get. If you try to store beyond 127, you may get out of range error. Now the formula for this byte data type is, this is the formula, minus 2 power n minus 1 2 plus 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. This is the formula for to calculate the range of each and every data type. What is the n? N represents bits. Suppose 1 byte equal to 8 memory for byte data type, right? See, in place of n, we need to place 8. 2 power 8 minus 1 to 2 power 8 minus 1 minus 1. This is the formula. This is the way you calculate the range of byte data type. So I don't want to calculate manually. For that, if you don't want to calculate that like that, no. For that also, we have another way. See here, I created byte range. Byte one class I created. That name is byte range, and we know already execution always starts from main method, right? I don't want to calculate manually to know the byte range. For that, we have another way. In Eclipse also we will get by using predefined things. See system.out.println. For byte data type, I need to know the range. What is the minimum value? We have min underscore value. We have min underscore value for this byte dot max. If you want to get maximum value, for that we have max underscore value. See the output on console. You got minus 128 to plus 127. This is also, we can directly get the minimum and maximum values of byte by using Java, simple Java program. Okay, now see here what I told. For byte, we can able to store up to this range only. Let us check practically. Let us check practically by using program. We already know execution always starts from main method inside the class. Now I am declaring byte data type. Byte variable is the b1. Now see, I stored byte b1 equal to 10. Is it allowed? Yes, we got, sorry, get the output b1. Yes, we got output as 10. Can I store byte b2 equal to minus 100? Negative values can we store? Yes, we can store negative values also. Can we store byte b3 equal to 130? Can we store 130? Observe here, observe carefully. Here only we got red mark. It represents that is the error. Here only we are getting error. See, type mismatch cannot convert from int to byte. We got error because what is the maximum value? Mine plus 127 is the maximum value. That is the last one. Here I mentioned 130. We got error. That is value out of range. Error. What is that error? The value is out of range. That's why we got error as type mismatch cannot convert from int to byte. See, now another one. Byte b4 equal to, I'm trying to store float values. See, that is also error. It is also error. See, type mismatch cannot convert from double to byte. Why means why? What is the required data type? It expecting whole numbers, right? In between the range minus 128 to plus 127 only. But we are trying to assign float double type of data. Is it possible? No. We'll get error. Decimals also not allowed to assign when you use byte data type. Now, can we store float type of data? Can we store? See, that is also not possible. Cannot assign boolean to byte data type, boolean values to byte data type. This is also invalid. Cannot see here change to b5 to boolean. That is also not possible. Now see here, these two only are valid things. What about b3? 130 is more than the allowed range, so that's why we got error here. See, 110.5 is the decimal, but the byte is only for whole numbers. We can't able to store double values also. Now see here, false is the boolean type, right? It is not a number. That is also not possible to store. So we got error. Now I hope you got this up to this practically. Now we will move to what is the default value? Default value of byte. What is the default value? The default value of byte is 0. 0. When these default values generated by the JVM, when it will assign. See, when you create a variable without assigning any value, Java automatically gives a default value. But it is for only instance variables, not for local variables. Keep this point. It is very, very important note. So make a note of it. What is local variable? What is instance variable? We will see in upcoming videos, so don't worry, those are comes under type of variables. As of now, just remember, for local variables default values cannot assign. For instance variable only Java gives default values. Keep this point in your mind. That's it. I will show you practically one example. See, execution always starts from main method. I already told you, for local variables, it won't create any default values. See here, I'm declaring just B. It's not out that println. I'm gonna printing that B value. See, the local variable B may not have been initialized. We got that local variable B might not have been initialized. We got this error. I hope you got it, because int b is the local variable here. For local variables, Java won't assign default values. Keep this point in your mind. For what type of variables it will assign default values means, for instance variable it assigns default values. See, this is the another example. How to create instance variable, how Java automatically gives default value to instance variable. We'll practically see in this example. See, I'm just declaring, right? I'm just declaring B. Here I'm not going to assign any value to this B variable. Now, I'm taking one method here, that is show method. Inside this show method, I'm printing inside this show method, I'm printing B. See here, inside the main method, I'm creating object for this class by using new keyword byte range. We'll see in upcoming videos what is new keyword, how to create object, everything. So don't worry. As of now, just keep the by using class name, we are creating object for this. By using this object, this is the reference here, reference variable. By using this object reference, I'm calling show method. I'm calling show method. That's it. See, everything fine. Execution always starts from main method only. Execution always starts from main method. Now, see here, object created for this byte class successfully. Then control moves to this line, obj.show. Show is the method. Here I called show method. Now control moves to this method, show method. Inside this show method, I am printing b value. Here I just declared b, which is of byte type. I didn't assign any value to that byte. Am I right? Now observe output. We got output as 0. This is how Java automatically gives default values to this reference variable. Here b is the reference variable. For this, Java gives default value, that is 0. This is the example. I hope you got it. Now let's quickly move to another whole number data type, that is short. That is short data type. Now short. Mainly this short is used to store small whole numbers like byte only, but the range is more for this short data type. It takes 2 bytes. It takes 2 bytes of memory. That means 1 byte equal to 8 bits, right? For 2 bytes, 16 bits of memory it takes. What is the allowed range? The byte, the short can store values from minus 32,000 to 768 to plus 32,767. And this is the minimum value, and this one is the maximum value. Again, the formula is same for this byte also. Use this formula to get this range for short data type. Here n is, in place of n, place this 16. In place of n, place this 16, then calculate. We'll get this as the range. Now, fine. We'll see practically in this example. See here. Now, in place of byte, I'm using short. Short S1 equal to 130. Now S2, S3, S4, S5. 130 as stored. Now 32,767, 32,768, Here I'm storing through boolean type of data 15.0 double type. Now s sorry s s4. See, for short data type, I stored 130 to this S1 variable. 130 data. Is it valid? Yes. This is the valid thing in short because 130 is in between the range of minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. So that is the in between the allowed range only we assign value to that variable. Now see, 32,767 is the maximum allowed number, right? That is valid. I tried to assign beyond the range, that is 32,768. See here only we got error. See, cannot convert into too short, cannot convert. See, this is cannot convert into too short. For this S3 variable, we got error. For boolean type, here I stored true, right, into S4 variable. For that, cannot convert from boolean to short. We got that error. Now, here I tried to store double type of data. For that, I got cannot convert from double to short. These are the errors. Now, first two are the valid things, valid declarations, and S3, S4, S5 are the invalid things in Java because those are out of range. And another one is I'm trying to assign incompatible types. That's why we got error. I hope you got it. Now, if you want to get the range of short data type also, for that also use this program. Like for byte we calculate, right, by using min and max value, min underscore value, max underscore value. For the short also we can able to get that. We'll get range on console. Okay, now coming to default values. What is the default value for short? Same like byte only. For short, the default value is 0 only. Default value of short is 0. Now, same like byte data type only. For byte, for local variables, Java won't automatically assign any default value. For instance variable only, we will get default values. Same here also. I'm commenting this one. See here. See, here I'm using short data type. Short. For short, will it create default value for local variables? The local variable b may not have been initialized because here I declared variable b, that's it. I didn't assign any value. So this is the local variable. For local variables, Java won't assign any default values. For instance variables only, we'll get default value as 0. See, now we'll see this example. Now I'm gonna uncommenting this. See this example. Here in place of byte, just use short. That's it. See, we got output as 0. So default values created for instance variable. Here short b. This is the instance variable. For this variable, the default value is 0. Keep this in your mind. Now we will move to most commonly used data type. That is int data type. int data type. This one is the most commonly used type. Int. Now, what is int? Int stands for integer and it is used to store whole numbers, both positive and negative numbers we can able to store. Now, what is the size of int data type? 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 1 byte equal to 8 bit size. For 4 bytes takes 32 bits. 32 bits. Now, imagine what is the range. Imagine what is the range for 32 bits. If you place 32 in this formula in place of n, if you place 32, imagine you will get 10 digit number. That is the range. That is minus 2 power 31 to plus 2 power 31 minus 1. This is the allowed range for integer data type, that is 10 digit number. Why int is more popular means it gives a good balance between the memory usage and range, and it is mostly almost in every program where we deal with whole numbers only. That's why integer is more popular. I will show you practically in Eclipse. If you want to know the range of integer data type, use this example. In place of byte, just mention in int. You will get minimum and maximum value of integer data type range. No worries. Now let's move on to these examples. What are the allowed? What are the data types we can able to store inside the integer data type? Just see here. I1 equal to see here I1, I2, I3, I4. Now I'm gonna trying to this much of number. See, error we are getting. Up to this we can store. Now, can I able to store float type of data? 10.5 something. Double type of data. That is also not possible. We can able to store only whole numbers, either positive or negative numbers into the integer data type. Up to minus 2 power 31 to plus 2 power 31 minus 1 range only. Beyond that, if you try to store, you will get out of range. Incompatible type error. Now see, observe here. I1 is valid one. I2 is valid. For I3, this is the decimal, right? That is not allowed to store inside integer data type. I4 false. We are trying to assign boolean value. So that's why we may get error. Okay. Int doesn't support for default values, boolean values, some other data types. Now, what is the default value of int? Same. Default value for int is 0 only. 0 only. Same. This for int also. For local variables, we won't get any default value. For instance variable only, we may get this default value, that is 0. If you try to get default value for local variables, Java will give error saying that it is not initialized. See, in place of short, just place integer data type, you will get error. So see this example. In place of short, place integer b, that is the instance variable. You will get output as 0 as the default value.